all who are please must all who are attending the meeting in Selma, the meeting this evening, and all our families represented. May we have a productive meeting in an atmosphere of friendship. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Wes. And I'll be, as I stated earlier, I'll be filling in for Luke this evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Monday edition of the Hilltoppers group of Toastmasters, our Hilltoppers Club. And we'll start with club business. The only club business Luke relayed to me was two things. First, if you haven't gotten a text from Luke, he was requesting that we send our nominations for new club officers for the upcoming year to him in the next day or so. And we'll sort that out at the next meeting. So if you could do that. And the other thing, the hybrid meeting is still being looked at. They were having some trouble meeting with the pastor of the church, I believe, but we will, and I think Maurice and Wes may have more on that, but that's still a work in progress. Did you have something, Wes? Or?
I do. First thing I'll just say is that Majid, do you have a copy of the flyer that I made for Hilltoppers? I believe I sent you a copy of the flyer.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you posted that on Facebook?
No, I haven't posted it yet.
Okay. It might be a good idea.
Okay.
And okay, I live approximately 2 hours away from the meeting location, but I'd be willing to meet with Maurice and or Luke to talk to the pastor, and also maybe we could get together and hand out some flyers at places of business in the Mobile area to help maybe attract membership. I don't know what the latest is. I haven't heard anything from Luke about meeting with the pastor. Last I heard, he said it looked good this week, but I don't know what date it is. But I'd have to know sometime in advance, because I have a lot of things I have scheduled that I have to work around. But I haven't heard anything anymore from Luke about the meeting with the pastor. So I'm just standing by. Maurice, have you heard anything?
No, just a text last week.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Luke had texted me this afternoon saying that he was still trying to work up a date to see the pasture, but they were having trouble finding a date. They were both available, but was what he texted me. So.
You know what? I just want to say, it sounds like it's a whole lot of effort being put on this. And I don't want Luke or anyone else to feel like it's a battle, it's a struggle. If it's not time for us to go in a hybrid setting, maybe it's just not time. But we've been trying this and battling this for months, and it seems like we're not getting anywhere. And I just don't want anyone to be stressed about it. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
I'm not sure anybody's really stressed about it. It's just a matter of trying to find the proper time. Of course, we'd have to hear from Luke to find out what the situation is.
Yeah, I understand. It just seems like we've been going through a lot of effort. Have we heard anything back, Maurice, at all from Hilltoppers? From Corp Diem, our original spot?
Oh, no. I think Luke was at last in communication with them about, and I guess a couple of months ago, I picked up the equipment a few months ago from Carpe Diem. So.
Right.
When I was in Mobile, almost 2 weeks ago, I did pass out some flyers. I took some flyers to Carpe Diem, and the young lady said that she would post them because I wanted folks at Carpe Diem to know that Hilltoppers is still in existence and is still meeting. So, see, we're seeing what happens. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, Carpe Diem was an ideal location just because there
Okay, sounds good.
were so many college students, and there was a whole group of potential people down in the downstairs when we were meeting upstairs. So that would be ideal if we could get back to that. But I don't know, a lot of our members I know have moved out of town, and I think Carrie and I aren't really committed to going back to in-person meetings yet. So we really need to look also to see if we'll have enough members present to really pull off an in-person meeting. But that's something we can discuss. We probably need to have a business meeting soon and go over some things. But okay, any other club business before we move on? Go ahead, Wes. I think you're muted.
You're quite right. Has there been any feedback about possible membership? I mean, has anybody indicated an interest to join Hilltoppers? And has there been correspondence with those folks?
We had those two. I think I reached out to them as well as Kyler, and I hadn't heard anything back. And I think you sent them the link to the meeting, didn't you, Kyler?
I did. And we had two more, well, not two more. We had one more come up recently. I just hadn't had a chance to call them and actually talk to them. So my plan was to give them a call tomorrow when I have time to talk. But yeah, there's two that I sent the link to so they could join this meeting if they'd like to. But I'll reach back out to them and just kind of do a little follow-up. Just kind of see what they're thinking.
And I have one gentleman that's a member of the Red Cross with me, and I've given him the information a couple times. So I'm going to reach back out to him because he's really interested in working on his skills, public speaking skills. But he's more interested in the Zoom because he's over in Daphne. He's not in Mobile, and he used to belong to the club in Daphne, but he hasn't been able to attend there. And he really was interested in joining ours virtually. So I'll reach back out to him. So maybe we got 4 new ones, Wes, hopefully.
Yeah, and there was the Rick Salmon guy. He sounded like he definitely wanted to join, but I haven't heard from him in a little while. I know he was talking to Luke about maybe finding the church. I think his thing is he wanted to be in person, but so far that hasn't worked out yet. But I told him we're still quite effective and we do pretty well, online. So I told him that if he still wanted to join for the time being, it wouldn't be a bad situation.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. I guess we can go ahead and get started. And I will introduce our Toastmaster for this evening, which will be the one and only Kyler.
Thank you. I like that introduction. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters. I am the one and only Kyler. And I will be your Toastmaster for this evening. So starting off, I'm going to sort of review the agenda and introduce some of the other roles this evening. So starting with the roles, I'm going to start with Olivia as the grammarian. Olivia, can you tell us about actually, I believe we changed that to Majid, is that correct?
No, I'm a grammarian.
All right, yeah, Majid is the general evaluator. So Olivia, can you tell us a little bit about your role this evening?
Yes, good evening. My role tonight as grammarian is to listen to the speeches, the evaluations, and see if there's any obvious misuse of the English language. I will give a report at the end of what I hear. Also, the word of the day, which I would love to challenge us to use it at least twice, is gumption. Gumption is a shrewd or spirited initiative. And some synonyms for gumption, the first one I thought of was the wherewithal. But another synonym of gumption is someone that has courage, nerve, the smarts, wisdom, or reasoning. So to use it in a sentence, it says, she had the gumption to put her foot down and head Dan off from those crazy schemes. Word of the day is gumption. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Olivia. And gumption, I feel like is the perfect word of the day for Olivia. She definitely has gumption. Yeah, you're always inspiring me with the things that you do and the wisdom that you share with us. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that. I look forward to using it.
Yes, yeah, me too. That's a word I can use. So the next person I would like to introduce will be our table topics master, who will be Maurice. Maurice, can you tell us a little bit about your job this evening?
Yes, I can, and I will. As a table topics master, I will give a table topic, and I'll use this 365 list if I can think of it out of my head. And it's a 1-2 minute impromptu speech. And I'll look for volunteers to see if they have the gumption to handle the table topics. To you, Toastmaster.
Very nice, very nice. And I'm glad you have the gumption to be the Toastmaster this evening. So many lesser Toastmasters have scurried away from such a role. So thank you for having that gumption. All right, going on to the next person, we will have our timer, Donovan. Donovan, can you tell us a little bit about your role this evening?
Yes, Carol. So basically what I'm going to do is to keep track on how long the prepared speeches go from. I believe that David's speech is 10 to 12 minutes. So what I'm doing is I'm using contact lenses containers as it. So the green will be for 10 minutes. The yellow will be 11 minutes. And the pink reddish color is 12 minutes. It is the same method as of the table topics. Green for 1 minute, yellow for 1 minute and 3 seconds, and the reddish pinkish color is for 2 minutes. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Donovan. I always like seeing what people use as the colors for the timing. So that was very creative, and that's using I think that's the first time someone's used contact lens cases. So that's awesome, and the colors look perfect.
Well, you know what's kind of ironic is that when I was in the bathroom, I saw them and I thought, man, that'd be a good idea as a way of doing the time.
That's awesome. Well, that was some good inspiration. That was a good idea to follow through with. So next, I'm going to move on to the counter. It will be Kaori. Would you like to tell us about your role this evening?
Yes, I have the gumption to explain my role. My role is counter. Its role is to note any overused words or filler words, such as, well, you know. So and I'm going to count how many times to use those words. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate that. And using the word of the day, I think we've done really good. I think we've probably got at least 5 or 6 word of the day so far. We've not even gotten through the roles yet. So this is fantastic. All righty. And then let's see, who else do I have to introduce? Aha, the last but not least, will be Majed as the grammar, or as the general evaluator.
Hello, friends. I will be the general evaluator, and I will have some gumptions to give you all the feedback of how our meeting went. How did we lay out all our prepared speeches, table topic, evaluation, and I will call in evaluation team, my evaluation team, to give us an overall evaluation of the sections, and then I will give a overall meeting evaluation. Back to you, table topic master, Toastmaster, Kyler.
Thank you, Majid. And yes, it does take gumption to evaluate the whole group. You know, it takes someone who's got the guts to say, hey, something's wrong, we need to fix it. Or, hey, we did something right, let's keep doing it like that. I think in life and in business and work, people are often too scared to do some evaluating and give their feedback. So it takes gumption, because it is important. All righty. So with that, we'll move on to the different sections of the evening. The first section will be speeches. The next section will be table topics. And then finally, we will go through the evaluation portion of the meeting. So starting with the speech portion of the meeting, our first speaker tonight will be David, and he will be doing his dynamic leadership, reflect on your path speech. And he will be evaluated by Cheyenne. So without further ado, let's all welcome David to the spotlight.
Thank you, Kyler, and good evening, everyone. It takes gumption to come to a Toastmasters meeting. It really does. It seems like a simple thing, but coming to any new environment and meeting people requires a certain amount of spirited initiative. Toastmasters consist of two things: attending meetings, which we're doing now, and also pathways. Pathways is the homework that we do. It's the behind the scenes activities. It's a series of projects we do on Toastmasters website, and then from those projects, we generate our speeches. To complete a path, we must complete 5 levels, each level getting progressively harder. There's a total of 15 or so speeches or projects, and then accompanying speeches that go along with those. I'm doing my final path speech, completing my dynamic leadership path. I'm going to reflect and summarize on my experience. I'm going to talk about 3 things. First, why do a path at all? Why go to the effort of completing a path? Second, I'm going to evaluate myself. Everyone else has been evaluating me when I give speeches. I might as well evaluate myself as well. And third, I'm going to talk about the skills I've learned. So first, why? Why do it? Why go to the trouble? I look at pathway work, finding a path and working through a path is like getting a Toastmasters degree. It's the difference between saying I attended college versus I completed college, graduated, and have a diploma, which I do have a diploma. This is my 1987 degree in civil engineering from the University of South Alabama. So now I'm going to have a Toastmasters diploma, so to speak. But more than that, as I started working on my path, I realized it's a journey of self-discovery. It really was interesting and fascinating to learn these things about myself. Some of the things I already knew or had an idea of, but it put it in a new perspective. It really opened up my eyes on a lot of things, and it was fun to do that. And I got even a little selfish about it. Back before the pandemic, when we were meeting in person, our previous president, Diego, would pass around a sign-up sheet. It would go around the table. And as the sign-up sheet, and there's a sign-up sheet to give future speeches. And as it got closer to me, I would secretly hope that the people that were still looking at it wouldn't sign up so I could get the next available speech, because I wanted to give speeches and progress in my progress here. And another reason I decided to stay and do this is that I found this is not a competition. It's not who's better than who. It's really just all about becoming better communicators and learning and growing together. It's helping each other. And that appealed to me. So that's why I decided to complete a path. The second thing I'm going to do is evaluate myself. When we evaluate people giving speeches, there are 7 general criteria. There's other things, but there's 7 main criteria we look at. The first is clarity, how clear my voice is. Am I projecting? Can everyone in the room hear me? Not as big an issue on Zoom, but in real life, you need to be heard. I do pretty well with that. I've done well in in-person meetings and on Zoom. Another thing is eye contact. Am I making eye contact with my audience? Which once again, Zoom kind of messes with that, but I did okay on eye contact. Gestures, how well do I gestures? People tell me I'm a black belt in gesturing. I can gesture all day long and am somewhat effective. Audience awareness, I am aware of my audience. I got good scores on that because if I see someone look at their phone or yawn, I almost overreact. I think, oh, what have I done wrong? But I do pay attention. Comfort level, I think there is a certain amount of discomfort when giving a speech. Most everyone experiences that, and I do as well. I get butterflies in my stomach, but I work through that and I can get up and do it. I just do it. It's something I deal with well, I believe. And there's also interest. How interesting are my topics? Now, overall, people say that I give some interesting talks, so I do okay with that. I left one thing out. And this, when I started this project, one of the first things it asked me to do was go through and look at all of my previous evaluations from every speech I have given. That annoyed me. I thought, I've already done this. I've already looked at all these things. Now I got to dig them all back out and go through them again. But I wanted to do what the project asked me to do. So I did that. And it was really an eye opener. First of all, the first thing I thought was, I wish I'd been doing this all along. I've been keeping up with just looking for patterns. And because the one pattern that stuck out, the one thing that I got the most comments on was vocal variety. And sometimes I did okay, but generally people said I needed to work on vocal variety. Why is this so hard? Why is it so hard for me to have vocal variety? I think with everything in life, there are underlying reasons for the way I am the way I am. And I have trouble, I'll share with you, I've been in professional therapy a good bit in the past in parts of my life. And the one thing I have trouble with is showing emotions. And vocal variety for me, it's being emotional. It's, if I'm varying my volume, if I'm changing my pitch, my tone, that's showing emotions. And it's something I'm scared to do. So it's something I need to still work on. I remember one time I asked my therapist, if I go, say, to a dinner party, how am I supposed to act? How am I supposed to act around other people? And what she said to me was profound. She said, don't act, just be who you are. And the way she put it was, don't ape being human. Don't pretend to act the way people think you should act. There's a saying that we're probably all familiar with, fake it till you make it. That's a good saying. I think there's a lot of application for that. But at some point you have to make it. You have to get there. And I'm not quite there yet. I realize that. So vocal variety is something I struggle with. But once again, this goes back to what I talked about earlier, and that working through this path really helps me understand myself and accept myself too. It's not like I'm putting myself down for this. It's just, this is something I can work on. It's something, clarity is always a good thing. So I can understand now better my own shortcomings and also my strengths. And that's the final thing I'd like to talk about, is the skills that I've developed. when I came to my first meeting and they talked about an awe counter, someone monitoring for filler words. Of course, I've heard about filler words, understood what they were, but that concept is powerful. I've learned in Toastmasters that silence is an effective, powerful way of communicating. Also, I've become better at giving speeches. I've better understand how speeches should be organized and the importance of storytelling, giving examples. People love to have examples given to them about something, not just dry comment on what to do, but give real life examples. That's powerful. Listening, patience. When I can set aside my own beliefs and my own preconceived notions and truly listen to what you have to say to me, then I can grow, because each and every one of you have something to say to me that I can learn from. But if I'm stuck in my own head, I can't receive that. And I've learned in Toastmasters to become a better listener. Leadership, that's the final thing I want to talk about. I've taken on the role as an officer. I've led meetings at times. I've really somewhat developed my leadership skills. This is still a work in progress. Leadership has never been a strong point in my life, but I do much better understand my own leadership styles, what I need to work on. And perhaps even more importantly, I understand the leadership styles of authority figures in my past and present. And understanding that makes me appreciate what they've done more and gives me a better accepting, I have better acceptance of authority, understanding different leadership styles. So I've talked about why I made the effort to complete a path. I've evaluated myself, and I've discussed the skills that I've developed. Meeting participation, pathways work. Meetings and pathways. It's yin and yang. They complement each other. It's challenging, but I did it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm proud that I've completed this path. Complete a path. Just do it. It's worth it, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, David, for that speech. I really enjoyed that. It was very insightful, and it's encouraging me. I tend to forget or have issues with getting into paths, so I tend to like kind of put it off. Like I'll just do the speech and then I'll worry about pathways later. But that's encouraged me to get more focus to it. And I would like to say I think your vocal variety is definitely improved. I definitely see you, opening up and sharing more emotions with us as time progresses. So I really enjoyed that speech. Thank you for that. All right, so next on the agenda, we will move on. So we don't have a second speaker this evening, so we'll move on to table topics. So Maurice, will you take the spotlight?
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster. For this table topic session, we'll do at least 5. It's 18 after, so we can go maybe till 25 after. And I'm going to ask for volunteers. Who has the gumption to take a table topic this evening? Okay, Wes, your table topic for the evening is, there's a lot of good ones here, but I'll do this one. What is missing in your life? The mute button, that's one thing that's missing.
I did a gumption put it on mute. I'll take myself off mute. Very good. I never considered myself a competitor. I've been involved in competitive sport in a lot of activities in my life, but I've never ever considered myself a competitor. I consider myself an achiever. I think the difference between competing and achieving is that a competitor is competing against another person, or the achiever is perhaps competing against himself or herself in order to become better. What's missing in my life, perhaps the next level. I'm not sure if it's missing in my life. I think it's important for one to develop a personal interrelationship with God. That's my belief. But it's not that God is missing. It's just that the act of developing a higher level of understanding of God as I understand Him. So again, it's not missing. It's just a matter of developing a higher level of understanding, or perhaps, for want of a better word, realization, or that sort of thing. The Topics Master.
All right, thank you, Wes. Next volunteer. Okay, Kyler. If you were forced to eliminate every physical possession from your life, with the exception of what could fit into a single backpack, what would you put in it?
I'm contractually obligated to answer Cheyenne, although she probably would not fit in a single backpack.
Well, that's supposed
No, I think if I had to get rid of all my possessions and so can I only, just for clarification, can I only put one thing in a backpack, or anything that I can fit in a backpack?
How big is
Of what you could fit in a single
Okay.
backpack.
Good thing your possessions are small.
Okay, so I think the first thing that popped in my mind is I have a synthesizer that's this big, and I use it to make a lot of music. It brings a lot of joy to me. I won't say I'm good at it, but I really like doing it. So if I were on the road and that, and I was traveling around, or whatever situation, I became a vagabond or something, I would like to have that so I could continue to, indulge in that hobby. I'd probably like to have, maybe a book or two in there. I'm not sure which book I would have, and then most likely an iPod or something with music on it. That's probably all the things that I would try to take with me. So back to you, Table Topics Master.
All right, thank you, Kyler. Okay, Cheyenne.
Since we have the mic on, I might as well.
What has been the most terrifying moment of your life thus far?
Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I have been asked what has been the most terrifying moment of my life so far. That's a difficult question for me. While I do have gumption, I do not put myself in dangerous situations very often. I don't have any extreme hobbies where it's life or death. I've been in a few precarious situations. I used to have a social work type job, so having to travel to some unsafe parts of town by myself, a 23-year-old female, and knock on strangers' doors. So that was pretty scary. I can't think of one particular instance. There's been a few times where I'll be free diving out in the ocean, and I just look how far I am away from the shore, and I'm like, my brain's like, what would you do if a shark just popped up right now? For example, there's a reef in Pensacola near Portofino, and it's a pretty good ways out from the shore, and there's a bunch of sea turtles that live around this artificial reef, and you can swim out there and see them. But I always just think, like, if something popped up that I was not out here to see, how would I get away? Because my brain always thinks that. So I'd say those are probably the two first things that come to my mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Olivia, we'll go with one more volunteer. That'll be Olivia. Your table topic for the evening is what's something most people don't know about you?
Wow. Hello, everyone. My question is, what is something most people don't know about me? Maurice, my life is such an open book. I live by this motto. My parents are deceased, but I always wanted to never embarrass my parents. So I always say, no matter what I do, whether it be right or wrong, would I do it if my mom was here? Or if my mom found out, would I be embarrassed? So most people may not know that it could be something simple. For example, I stole an ink pen from work. But would I be embarrassed for my mother to know that I stole an ink pen from work? No, I wouldn't be embarrassed. But other than that, most of my life is an open book. And most people that know me know pretty much all about me. And I just try to live a life that I don't have to have many secrets. So if I had to say what was the one thing that most people don't know about me, is that I try to live a life of no secrets. Back to you. Oh, and that requires some gumption. And it also requires that you stop and think, pay attention, think about what it is you're about to do, and then think about what the consequences may be of that action. And if after you have thought about the consequences and you still want to go through with it, then I say take that gumption and go ahead and do it. But for me, what I am is a person that likes to live a life of very few secrets. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
All right, thank you, Olivia. And that will be it for table topics. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Maurice, for those table topics. I always notice that when you do table topics and you use the 365, you always go for the hardest hitting ones. You know, you're always going for those questions that really make people kind of think about life. So I appreciate that because, you know, that's kind of what we need. You know, that's what helps us grow as people, and it's what helps us become better speakers, because those are questions that people ask, and sometimes you get put on the spot and you gotta evaluate your life on the spot, you know, and answer truthfully. So those are good questions. I appreciate that. So
yeah, thanks a lot, Maurice.
Yeah, keeping us on our toes.
Someone's just gonna cry one day during the topic you give them. They're just gonna go, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, one thing people don't know about you. Are you kidding me? They still won't know.
I have so much missing from my life.
Yeah. Yes. The worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, there's some heavy hitters, but they're good for us at the end of the day.
I think he's not even using that, what he said, the 360. He's just making up. He just showed that paper, but he had a different paper.
He's just trying to make us sweat.
And they don't fit like as he asked. So yeah, that was good to okay.
That was fun.
It's so silly.
Well, I was just playing all along. All right, so moving on to the next portion of the meeting, we are getting into the evaluation portion. So I will start by calling on the I believe we call him the general evaluator, who is Majid. So Majid, give us your report.
Hello, everyone. I am the general evaluator for tonight. Before I publish my general evaluation, I would like my evaluation team to give their evaluation. So can I call Sian for giving evaluation of our first prepared speech from David, who's about to finish his pathway. Yeah.
Hi. Oh, we're getting our lighting, the sunset. Oh, goodness. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm here to give you the evaluation of David's speech. David, I wanted to say I really liked your speech. I like how when you give speeches, you pull personal examples into it and it keeps your content interesting because you'll most likely say something that is relatable to someone else instead of just reading from a book of a text that's not relatable to us. So very nice. I like that. You excelled. I was thinking, I was like, I'm evaluating an evaluation. So you excelled at your self-awareness that you have of things that you do and things that you've needed to work on and improved. So I thought that was awesome. And it's hard to admit what you do wrong. It's hard to look back and have someone say like, hey, you said 29 times. You're like, but did I? But you did. So it's very good that you're able to confront the things that you said you needed to work on and also to share that with other people. Some people may not mind sharing, but then it might be like really uncomfortable for others to do. So evaluating your evaluation, you did very well with hand gestures. They were where you could see them. I know we've gotten more used to Zoom. So at first we would do hand gestures and they would maybe be down here. You could see their shoulders moving. So I think you made a point to make sure they were in view. And I thought that was really good. And they were appropriate. They weren't over the top or too little. So great job on that. Challenging yourself, the only thing I could think of, and where I think Carrie's like the only one who has mastered this, but standing up during the speech, I feel like it just gives the effectiveness and delivery, just a more powerful delivery. I know we had that guest speaker who was doing presentations, so I really liked that she stood up for hers. I don't have anything that you could work on. I just think you did a really good job. Like I said, it was personal, encouraging. I know what you can work on, making me feel bad for not doing my pathways work. You could just work on that. But no, thank you for the reminder. It is easy just to get in the swing of doing the meetings and not really tuning into pathways. So thank you for the reminder and the encouragement to do that. And I won't go through the whole chart, but I will send it to you. I just wanted to note, I did note here for clarity, the sound quality with your microphone and your headset is really good. I would say you have like one of the best sound qualities when we're listening to everyone. And I think, well, I couldn't do it because we have two, but I just think that was a good investment. And if you ever had to give a speech to like an outside group, or if you were doing like a work speech, like that's a good thing to keep in mind, like to get one of those. So just wanted to note that, and then I will send you the completed form. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Cheyenne.
Thank you, Cheyenne, for the detailed feedback. Being general evaluator, I won't get the greens and yellows, so I could take a little more time. So yeah, as you mentioned, David, when you were talking about from your first speech to now you are going to graduate from your pathway, I used to recall like how a year and a half almost passed away when we started, and your leadership style is always impressive for all of us. We have seen you not only coming but also motivating others, bringing them together as a club. And also we look for you for the counter that you and Maurice have a very strong zeal to control your expression, that you can hold us that words in. Also your communication style, it's very open and very visual too, that you understand. So I think you have done a great work. As a coach, I've noted down, like you always pick something that you coach during your presentation. So that's really helpful and also motivates us. And vocal variety that you have already worked, I think it's like today's one, you had multiple strings of ups and downs. So I think you have the vocal variety. It's on a very good state. So that's good. Awesome, David. Good to see you finish the pathway. Dynamic leadership is one of the core pathway for Toastmaster. We are also excited to see you graduate or finish this path. Okay, without delaying further, I would like to invite our grammarian, Olivia, to give us an update.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello. Okay, I'm off mute now. I was driving when we first started, so I did not get all of the use of the word of the day. I'll go over that report. But as far as misuse of the English language, I think we all did very well, which we never really suffer with that. I think all of us do very well with our usage of the English language. I think you've been evaluated by everyone, David, but I just have to go on saying that I really admire your I hate to say gumption, but that's like the only word I can think of really that expresses when you said about vocal variety and how you were told that, and your transparency when you said that you were told that it's linked to showing emotion. And that's so true. And I probably showed too much emotion, but I never thought about emotion and vocal variety being linked together. So thank you for that. And tell your therapist that we all just learned something. Maybe we should throw a couple dollars. I don't know, whatever she charges, but we all learned from that. And when you talked about doing your Toastmaster International and finishing your path and about it being a graduation or a diploma, that really just sparked my interest to go ahead and get mine done too. I'm almost there. Okay, so for word of the day, I have Cheyenne at least once. I have Kyler for, please correct me if I'm wrong. Kyler, yours was at least 5, Maurice 3, David, I put you down for 4 because you have for the first time I've heard someone actually use the definition as part of your speech. You even said about how it takes, that spiritedness and all that. So that was great. Wes, at least twice. Olivia, twice. Anyone else that used the word of the day? Let me know. If not, back to you.
I used it once, yeah.
Okay, so we have, Majid, yes. Majid once. And Donovan, you too?
I will, when I do mine.
Okay, sure. All right, back to you.
once.
Oh, thank you. I have you down, Miss Carrie. Okay, thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Olivia, for your report on grammarian. Can we call the R counter?
Good evening again. Hi. We did very well overall tonight. First of all, table topic. Let's start with the table topic. Wes, I didn't hear anything. David, I didn't hear anything either. Olivia, I caught 2 shows. You used several shows. 2 of them, I would say, not inappropriate, but you could have skipped. Cheyenne, I heard nothing. Tyler, I detected 3 us and 3, Next, long speech. Davey, you did. I'm sorry, but David didn't speak the table topic, but he did the long speech, and I didn't hear anything. You did very well. And the last one is Cheyenne's evaluation. I caught 4 shows. This is the same as Olivia. You used several shows, and I would say 4 of them are that you could have skipped. And then I heard 4 times. That's all. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Harry, for your counter evaluation. Now I'll call Jonathan for giving us the timer report. Jonathan.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I just want to go ahead and say that David's speech was very interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and do the gumption of the timers report of all of y'all. So, first of all, for the prepared speech, David had 10 minutes and 33 seconds. Then for the table topics, Kyle had 1 minute and 11 seconds. Cheyenne had 1 minute and 31 seconds. Versus Wes's table topics was 1 minute and 45 seconds. And Olivia's was 1 minute and 41 seconds. I also timed the evaluation portion as well. Majid, I timed you by, you have 1 minute and 42 seconds. Cheyenne's evaluation was 3 minutes and 12 seconds. Olivia's report was 1 minute and 59 seconds. And Carrie's report was 1 minute and 14 seconds. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Jonathan, for your feedback and evaluation. Now I'm going to do like an overall evaluation. We started at 6:50. We had a 5-minute recess. That was to fill in any roles, but we had full attendance, and David was filling in for Luke. So that went according to the plan. And then we had a good business updates. Thanks, Wes, for keeping us on our feed. There was a good introduction that David did of one and only our Toastmaster. So that's good to Tyler. So, and he did a good job in introducing a little and inviting the table topic masters and the following part of the meeting. As we discussed earlier, the table topic that Maurice had was very exciting, and they were out of the box. So it was really exciting to see the questions that he posed were really out of the box for the individual that he asked. So thanks, Maurice, for that. And I think we did overall stick to the time. It's 7:42, so we started on time, we're ending on time. And that's all the general evaluation that I had. I would relinquish the lectern back to the Toastmaster.
Thanks, Majid. I appreciate your evaluation. It was very thorough and very helpful. And then let's see, there was one other thing I was going to add. Oh, I think we did fantastic with the word of the day today. I think we probably broke a record. We had the gumption to do so. So moving on to the next portion of the meeting, typically this would be time for an education overview, but I don't remember hearing if anyone had an education overview. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? All right, Donovan.
I just want to go ahead and say that I'm not going to be able to make it next week.
Okay.
I'll be out of town visiting my newest niece.
Oh, awesome. Congratulations. Well, I hope you have a wonderful time and that you really enjoy getting to spend that time with her. And congratulations on having a new family member. That's fantastic.
Thank you. It's been a couple of weeks, but thanks.
Yeah. All righty. So in that case, I will turn the lecture back to David, who is our acting president for the day, and he will have a few more things to say to us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kyler, for being our Toastmaster this evening. I thought you did a wonderful job, the one and only. And we do have an award for this evening. We have Wesley Hillstrom, Wes's Level 3 Award for Effective Coaching. I printed it out here, so it will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube for all of humanity to see. But seriously, that is really completing a level. It's a big deal in Pathways work, and level 3 is a great accomplishment. I know Wes has been in Toastmasters for some time and has done other paths as well, but this is great to get here in effective coaching, and he's giving us a great example, giving speech after speech. So thank you, Wes, and congratulations. Yes.
Thank you, David.
And also Wes has, it was mentioned about standing during giving speeches. I wanted to make note that Wes has also stood while he gave a speech, and that's something I'll give it a shot, but I was afraid to do tonight. but very good. And I think that's the only award that we have at the moment. If there is any others, we'll present them next time. Just let me know. But also I wanted to point out in chat, if nobody else is, or if you haven't noticed in chat, that Cheyenne will be doing an improv, working for an improv, or doing an improv this Thursday at Cathedral Square. That's downtown Mobile in front of the great big church. So I guess it'll be an outdoor event. That's at 6:30.
Bring a lawn chair.
Bring a lawn chair. At 6:30 p.m. at Cathedral Square. So if you're looking to do something on Thursday evening, that would be a cool thing to do. And it does take great gumption to do that. I mean, seriously, I've thought about trying improv before, but that's something I have not found the courage to do. So if you can make it, see Cheyenne. Did you have something, Donovan?
Yeah, actually, a question for Cheyenne.
Yes.
Is that show going to be uploaded to the internet?
I don't know. So it's a part of the Sweet Summer series put on by the City of Mobile, and they invited us to do the first one. So it's like a weekly free thing that they'll be doing in Cathedral Square. So I don't know if someone from there will be recording it or not. But if it is, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if it is.
Thank you, because I would like to watch it, but I won't be here, so I wish I could, support you.
Oh, thanks.
Well, very
Mate,
good.
you had a question?
Hey, I had one thing for you at the end, but I wanted to mention that I'm planning to move out of Mobile, maybe like mid of next month before the school starts. Due to my work, I'm being relocated, so I just wanted to thank you guys. Probably I'm gonna attend one more Monday or two, and until I hand off my role. I messaged to Luke, but I think he's pretty occupied, so maybe I'll wait until Luke is available to speak to him a little. But I just wanted to let you know ahead. And on that impromptu, so what is it about? Like what do we do? Like, would they ask something that you answer, or is it like a event together with multiple people?
So if you've ever seen the show Whose Line Is It Anyway, it's similar to that. So there's a group of 5 of us. We take suggestions from the audience and we like do scenes based on the suggestion, just off the top, like nothing is planned. When we usually perform in a theater, we'll ask the audience to bring like props, and then we'll make jokes based on what the props could be, just turning them into something else. So we're kind of having to improvise because we won't be in our theater. But yeah, it's similar to the show, and you can look it up on YouTube. Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's like a group of us.
It's really fun.
It is. It's really fun.
Yeah, it seems like awesome. Thanks.
So like our team leader will be like preparing for the Olympics, and then the 2 characters, whoever is up, will like get a relationship, like father, son, whatever, spouse, and then you kind of just go off that, and it's just off the top of your head, and it's really fun. So
Cool. Well, thank you, Cheyenne, and thank everyone for participating. I think all of us had a role this evening, which is important in Toastmasters. It's good to include everyone when we can, which is one of the reasons I like a smaller meeting sometimes, because we're able to do that. I know in the larger meetings, it doesn't, people still get something out of it participating, but it's good to have an active role. So before we close, does anybody have anything else that needs to be relayed? Oh, and Majid, yeah, I did not realize you were moving out of town. So, but you're welcome back on Zoom anytime, of course. We'd love to.
Yep. Yeah, true. Not being in person, maybe, I might stay. Yeah, so
yeah, I think.
But for a few weeks, I might be moving and stuff by 4th of July of that weekend. But yeah, maybe after that. Yeah, true.
Sure.
you still be in
Alabama? Moving to Dallas.
Oh.
If
a
I
long
move,
way.
if I move, it's going to be to a cooler environment.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not that
already,
I love it, but
I'm already waiting for fall. But no, seriously, yeah, definitely. I think we'll be on Zoom for the indefinite future anyway.
Oh, I see the baby.
Oh, you got a cute little kid there.
Mhm.
you can hold them until 45. Now they're legally out.
Ah,
So I cannot legally push them out now.
very good. Well, thank you everyone for attending, and we'll see you, those that can make it, we'll see you next week. I know Donovan can't, but hope you have a good time on your vacation, Donovan. And that's it, folks.
I'll take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thank you, team. So bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.